Welcome to Traveling Towards Wealth, the podcast where money meets adventure and freedom is always on the horizon. I'm Sarah Jones, financial coach, full-time traveler, houseplant lover, sourdough baker, and your guide to building a life that's as rich in experiences as it is in peace of mind. Each month, we dive into a new theme, whether it's real money stories, the ins and outs of full time travel, building a business or multiples while on the road, or finding wellness and simplicity wherever you are. Here, you'll get practical tips, honest conversations, and a gentle push to spend, save, and live according to your values, not someone else's rules. If you're ready to design a life you truly love, one where you can travel more, stress less, build financial confidence, shop safer, and wake up every day feeling like you're exactly where you're meant to be, then you're in the right place. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's start traveling towards wealth, one story at a time. Well, hey, friend, have you ever felt overwhelmed by clutter? Maybe just so many commitments that feel, overwhelming. Maybe you've tried to, bring safer products into your home, but there's a lot of noise out there. It's overwhelming trying to do your research. And you're just like, yeah, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. If that's you, you're in the right place. I have definitely been there too. And I'm going to share with you today that in my experience, living with less has really brought in so much more clarity, more joy, more freedom. Shopping safer has just provided me with so much more than I thought it was going to at the time. And, if this is at all piques your interest, you are definitely in for a treat because that's what we're really digging into today. It's really close to my heart, but really simplifying life, how it's really amplified my peace, my purpose, my financial freedom. It's all about, health and wealth simplicity here today. So I want to share a little bit of a story with you that, health and wellness means something different to everybody. But one thing that I think we can all agree on is that, our health is if you've got your health, you've got everything, right? And there's a lot of pieces to health. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert in many of these areas, but what I can share is my own personal experience in a lot of these areas and share with you how making some of these shifts and making a few of these changes has really changed everything, the trajectory of my future, my finances, my relationships, my health, and everything, right? And, it's we've always been for many years really concerned with our finances, right? And we juggle multiple businesses, living on the road, and just relationships and all the things, right? And wealth, again, isn't just about money. It's really about, for me, like my peace of mind. It is about, all over wellness. It's really about living aligned with my values. And I didn't realize it until we really went full-time RVing, how much downsizing really played a huge part in my health. I've known for a long time that choosing, toxic-free products played an enormous role in my mental clarity and my physical health, but really, how creating routines that helped really nourish my body and soul were especially important while on the road. And so, there's a lot of kind of branches to this, and I don't want to be real confusing. I want to try and keep this as simple as possible. But for me, when I looked at, when I really look at living a simple life, it comes down to a couple of things. And I really look at how can I get rid of a lot of the mental clutter? How can I keep my physical health at optimal levels? What can I do to keep my mental health at optimal levels? My financial health is really important to me. So how does that play a part here? Right. And so there's a lot of shifts that have happened over the years. Again, different seasons of life bring in new opportunities for shifts and changes. But with traveling, the things that we're really prioritizing right now are, less waste, more intentional spending, and just really physical and mental health, right? And so when we're looking at, this idea, of like simplifying, keeping a space healthy, mental health, physical health, all the things, right? Really being intentional with our spending, we look at, okay, what then needs to simplify? What needs to be simplified so all of this flows? So I am trying to create the flow, the life that I really want, right? Again, this isn't like a one and done. This is always a process. New seasons of life will come in and these will all need to be adjusted. But for me, the benefits of just simplifying life, and what I mean by simplifying, I mean we've simplified the way that we live in that we have a lot fewer possessions than we did before. It creates less clutter and chaos in our physical environment, which is really important. And that's helped to really reduce stress and overwhelm. It's helped to keep our finances really clear and really purposeful because, it's it was easy for us to just buy a lot of stuff when we lived in a house because there was quote unquote room for it, right? We had walls, we had space, we had shelves, and living in an RV, you have none of those things. So it really changes the way that you look at your purchases, right? And reducing clutter. And for me, having a lot of clutter around me creates mental clutter and mental chaos as well. And so knowing that I want to keep my mental health um at peak performance as best as I can, right? Making sure that my environment is less cluttered is important too. Really looking at, when we simplifying life and simplifying our systems and how we live and all these things, it's brought in, really more time and energy for the things that truly matter. And I think that this is an area that a lot of times people don't spend a lot of time on. We always think, well, tomorrow. It's not going to happen today, tomorrow, I'll deal with it. How many times have you said, "Oh, I'll just deal with it when it happens?" Friend, a lot of times it's too late. A lot of times it's too late, right? With simplifying life, I've really experienced like greater alignment with my values and my purpose. I think for a long time, life felt chaotic. And it wasn't necessarily that I couldn't simplify things. I think I didn't know how to simplify things. It's not that I couldn't, I just didn't know how. And I think I didn't know how because I wasn't real clear on what my values were and what my purpose was. And if you're listening, you're like, "Sorry, I have no idea what my values and purpose are." That's a really great place to start. That's a really great place to sit down and do some self-reflection on, spend some time thinking about. Because when you get clear on those, then it allows you then to start taking action, reducing, simplifying, living in a way that is more aligned to your purpose versus just going about your day to day and feeling uninspired, feeling uncreative, feeling overwhelmed, all the things, right? So really take some time if you don't know what your real values and your purpose are. That's a great place to start, right? And for us, simplifying, so there's a couple of things that we did. Obviously, we sold probably 75% of our stuff that we had when we lived in a house. And we live with still far more than we actually need to. So, full transparency, there's some things that we could absolutely get rid of here. But we did start with the bulk of the stuff that we had in the house. And we looked at, okay, if we're moving into an RV, what are the essentials? What are the things that we absolutely have to have? Now, over 4.5 years, those essentials have changed because we've gotten kind of used to this lifestyle. So we've gotten rid of some things that we thought we once needed, and we've brought in some things that now make life easier and more enjoyable, right? And so if you're starting, a good first step is to just start to declutter your space, right? Like, what do you have around you that you were saving because you might use it that you're really not going to use? It's time to get rid of it. Trust me on this. It is time to get rid of it. If you need something similar, you can go to the store and get it when you need it. Okay. There's a lot of power in getting rid of the stuff to open up more energy, more space. Sometimes that clutter just creates a lot of invisible clutter in your head too, right? You can really simplify your spending. This is something that I work with clients on all the time. Your spending is probably way too complicated. You have so many expenses going out that it feels overwhelming. Look at simplifying that. You can simplify your spending in a lot of different ways. Maybe it really is, instead of having six savings accounts, maybe you only have one for right now. Maybe, maybe you do have a lot of subscriptions that you're really not using or aren't aligned to your values and your purpose right now. So you can go in and start canceling some of those. You might have too many automatic payments going out that you're like, they're coming out at the wrong time. So then you're pulling money from your savings to cover, and then you transfer more money back into savings when payday comes around, but then you need to transfer it back because you forgot insurance came out. Like, that is chaotic spending, friend. That's chaotic spending. Simplify your spending. Know when money is coming in and know when it's going out, and get those aligned so they fit better, right? Another place that you can really start simplifying your life is to detox a lot of the products that you have. You're probably buying a lot of stuff that you don't need or that is harmful, and it is causing hormone disruptions. It's causing mental disruptions, physical pain, allergies. So you can switch the products that you use in your home to things that are low or non-toxic products that will really make a huge difference. And what's nice about that is that there are stores available. If you're looking for one, I'm happy to refer you. There are stores available that you can get everything. So it simplifies your shopping. So you're one store, you're getting everything. You're not going to multiple stores to find like the favorite brands or the one that's safer, that save a little bit of money over here with a coupon. Simplify your shopping, right? Some other steps that you can take to kind of simplify your money, to really be focused on simplifying your money. Big fan of using some cash envelopes or sinking funds. And this allows you to create some intentional spending categories in. These would be great. These could be used for areas that you traditionally would like, quote unquote, overspend in. Eating out is a big one. Clothing is a great one. Medical expenses are a great one. Home repairs, car repairs, etc. All great options for cash envelopes or sinking funds. It allows you to be really intentional with your spending categories. Schedule some regular, like, journaling time or like some pause and reflect moments to check in with your values, to check in with, whoa, have I been kind of off balance here? Have I been doing things? Have I been saying yes to things that I really wanted to say no to? Have I been impulse spending because I'm really stressed out? Are you eating foods that you wouldn't normally eat, or eating more of foods that might taste good in the moment, but actually cause you pain later on, right? These are pause and reflect moments to check in with your values, to check in with, are you taking care of yourself? Check in with, are you creating more problems, or are you really looking at, simplifying and reducing some of the other problems that might arise later on, right? So pause and reflect moments are really, really beneficial. And then certainly prioritizing, self-care, setting some boundaries to protect your peace. So what does self-care really look like for you? Generally, I'm going to say self-care is not hair, it's not nails, it's it's not tanning, it's not going to the coffee shop in the morning. That's not self-care. Those might be things that you value. Those might be things that you enjoy doing. Those might be things that maybe boost your self-confidence a little bit. All valid. That's not self-care. Self-care is grounding. Self-care is exercise. Self-care is eating healthy. Self-care is, massages or, acupuncture, chiropractic work. Self-care is grounding. It's getting out in nature. Self-care is really taking care of you. So when self-care might be getting off of social media for a while, right? Getting yourself away from the negativity, the political overload, the media, the opinions of everybody else. A lot of times that is self-care as well, right? Setting boundaries to really protect your peace is critical, especially, we live in a weird world right now. We live in a very chaotic world. The energy overall, I think, is very heavy and there's a lot of division. I'm not going to get into politics because that's not what this is here for, but this really falls into your self-care, prioritizing it, setting boundaries for yourself, right? Creating a more simple life is really a journey. Again, it's not like this one-time fix. It doesn't just change overnight. I think a lot of times people, and you might be somebody who does this or experiences this, or but like the homesteaders, it's very intriguing. It's very trendy right now, is watching homesteaders. I actually call this, my fifth wheel, kind of my homestead on wheels. It's trendy because it feels like a more simple life, right? And so if that's your dream, excuse me, if that's something that's exciting for you, then what can you start doing now that helps to simplify and change and allow you to live that kind of a lifestyle? Like what can you start doing now? There's always something. There's always changes that can be made, right? But just remember, it really is a journey. It's not a one-time fix. If you're feeling kind of weighed down by, all these choices, all of life's chaos, you know, you don't have to do it all at once. A lot of times people try and change everything at once, and that just creates more chaos. The goal is simplifying things here, right? So start small, be really gentle with yourself, and watch each of those small changes that you make. Take note of what ripple effects start to happen. That's the key. Take note of those small changes and what ripple effects start to happen. I think simplifying your life, reducing the clutter, getting the toxins out of your home, eating healthy, exercising, all these things, it really is like a radical act of self-love and empowerment. You have so many choices in life. So many choices, and I think maybe you've forgotten that. So when you start looking at simplifying your life, what choices do you have? You get to take back your power. And that's a really great place to be, right? I know I am very intentional with my schedule now. I'm intentional with what I say yes to and what I say no to, because protecting my peace is top priority. Top priority. I'm tired of living in an overwhelmed state. I was tired of saying yes to things that I knew I wanted to say no to because I felt guilty for saying no. I had to learn that my health and my wellness is most important. And there are a lot of really capable people out there that I don't have to say yes. There's somebody else that can say yes. There's somebody else that's going to be aligned with that way more than I am. Let me give the opportunity to them. How selfish is it to take that opportunity away from somebody else and I don't even want it? Right? So think about that. Where do you say yes to things that you've taken the opportunity away from somebody else to be able to say yes to, especially if you don't even want it? You say yes and you don't even want it. You've just taken the opportunity for somebody else that was more aligned for that task. Simplify your life. Say no to things when you really feel that they're not aligned to it, right? So, friend, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me today in this series about, living simply. It's all about wellness, it's all about releasing the clutter, just all the things. We're going to cover such a wide variety of topics here that, if this episode or anything that you've heard in the other episodes, if they resonated with you, I just ask, I'm small podcast just getting started, and I just appreciate if you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, leave a review, post in the comments, share it with somebody that might, find it intriguing. It all helps me out, and ultimately it helps you and helps them out as well. So if you'd like some, maybe personalized support on your journey to simplifying life, maybe building some financial confidence, you can always book a free call with me. The link is in my show notes. So don't hesitate to click that and book. I cannot wait to meet you. Now, stay tuned for next week's episode. We're starting our series, and it's just going to be really fun to get to share all this information with you. So, I'm going to leave you hanging a little bit on what series is going to be starting next week. But until then, keep wandering, keep growing, keep traveling towards wealth, one story at a time. Bye for now. Thanks for joining me on Traveling Towards Wealth. If today's episode sparked something in you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share this show with a fellow free spirit who's ready to design a life they love. Want to dive deeper? I'd love to connect with you. Book a free call with me to chat about your money, your dreams, and your next steps. No pressure, just a real conversation. You can find the link in the show notes or on my website. And let's stay connected on socials. Follow me on Instagram or Facebook for behind the scenes RV life, money tips, and a little gypsy spirit along the way. Remember, your money, your journey, your rules. I'll see you next Tuesday for another story and some practical steps to help you travel further towards wealth, freedom, and a life you love. Until then, keep wandering, keep growing, and keep spending on what matters most.